Hey everybody, good morning. Happy Monday. I wanted to delve into a topic with you guys that is really powerful and is really going to help you understand your body a little bit better. For those of you, if you don't know my story of being overwhelmed, fatigued, overweight, at one point I thought I had thyroid issues, and I really went down the route of traditional medicine. And what I found was I was barking up the wrong trees, okay, to try and get my answers. So what happened is, why I kept asking, if all my tests are negative, my thyroid tests are negative, my MRIs are negative, my blood work is negative, I'm not anemic, why am I feeling this way? Why does my body feel so awful? Right? And so here's one thing I want you guys to understand is that when you go through the traditional medical model for answers in medicine, this is not against the medical model. It's just for clarity of thought process with your own health, okay? And please understand that when I'm saying this, because the medical model is important and is there for a reason. And I truly believe that. But what I'm saying is, if you're going in and you're saying, I'm not getting better, and you're getting, your tests are negative, everything looks good, it's all in your head. Here's the answer. It is not all in your head. Okay, there are reasons why you're feeling it. What's happening is that basically you're only looking at a pathological level. Okay, you're not digging deep down into what's called a subclinical level. Okay, so you can have dysfunction and subclinical issues that are creating problems and symptoms, and you not to feel well, but you don't have any actual pathology, if that makes sense. Okay, so you can have subclinical issues. Nutrient deficiencies is a huge one. Vitamin and nutrient deficiencies is very big with why you might be feeling this way. This can be due to what the foods you're eating, or the foods you're not eating, not taking any supplementation, the quality of foods that you're eating, or any issues with how you are absorbing nutrients and dysfunction within your GI tract. So micronutrient deficiencies is a huge issue. Another issue, just throwing off a couple things, I won't go into all of them, but in toxicity, cellular toxicity and dysfunction in the actual on the actual cellular level. So you're not going to see regular pathology tests. You're not going to see, you're going to ask for your problems to be solved and going to see an answer, looking for a diagnosis. Well, what if it's not a diagnosis? What if it's a dysfunction, right? So just to give you guys a little food for thought, if you are, and this is how I help people to take back their health, it's not necessarily, it's a thought process change. It's not necessarily we're going to go down the rat hole of trying to pin a diagnosis on yourself. It's not necessarily going and diving into every medical test there is. It's really trying to, sorry about the phone, it's really trying to get to the root cause of your ailment. Okay, and that root cause is not always pathological. That root cause is potentially, some of the micronutrient deficiencies, some of the toxicities, but it could be as simple as you've gotten mold exposure, and you're getting toxic mold, exposure, and you're having problems creating mycotoxins in your cells, and that's what's creating your problems. So you have to look at other tests. And what I do with patients is more on a functional level. This is what's called functional medicine, okay? So if medicine was looking at, I'll give you an example. If we were to look at, if we were to draw a picture of an apple tree, okay? And we were to say, I've been looking at my problems, here's my problems, and we're only looking at the apples in the tree, okay? And your health is the tree, okay? The medical model is going to look only at the apples and the top of the tree itself. It's going to try and create and fix just the apple, because the apple is presenting as the problem. The apple is rotten. The apple is brown or having worms or not ripening or whatever. So we're going to try and fix the what's going on and how the apple is presenting. But what you're not doing is thinking about where are thinking about the roots of the tree and how that the roots are what actually create the fruits of the tree, right? So medical model is more looking at the apples and how we're fixing the apples, how we can make the apples better or less symptomatic. Functional medicine is diving into the roots, right? Because without the roots, we're not going to have the fruits. Okay, if that makes sense. Comment below if you guys are following me with this. I'm trying to give you a little bit more explanation on what functional medicine is and how, you know, when you are frustrated, I know it can be so frustrating when you go to a doctor and you are like, well, this is my problem. I'm having all these symptoms and what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Well, what if there was not necessarily anything wrong? What if you didn't have like a full-blown diagnosis? Or maybe you do have a diagnosis, but we're not necessarily, you know, the diagnosis doesn't have to be just, you know, picking a couple apples off the tree or throwing pesticides at the apples. Maybe the diagnosis is because of dysfunction in the roots, in the nutrients that are feeding the roots and how the roots are planted, right? So just some food for thought. If you guys are frustrated, if you guys were frustrated with how your health is going, you know, comment below, let me know how I can help you. There is absolute hope. It's just in a different way, in a newer model. This is the functional medicine paradigm. It's different than the traditional medicine paradigm, okay? So we're just looking at medicine as a whole body approach and really digging down to what could be causing all of these dysfunction and illnesses, okay? So I hope you found that valuable. If you are suffering from any type of chronic disease and burnout, if you're suffering from burnout heavily like I was, there's absolute hope for you. And just keep plugging. Let me know how I can help you guys. I do have a free 10-step guide that I can offer you to try and get you guys into a better frame of mind and get you started on your wellness journey if you are at that place. If you are the person who is sick and tired of being sick and tired, has gotten nowhere, has gotten no answers, let me know, comment below, and I'll absolutely send you that link. So I hope you found that valuable, and I'll see you guys in the next one, okay? Have a great week.